Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, April 5th. And boy, we got an active 7 days coming up. First items up there, a winter storm watch for parts of the area along with a high wind watch. And we could see some very windy conditions in some of those areas that pick up snow here. And it could be several inches. Winter storm watches again for much of the central portions of the state up to the northeastern portions of lower Michigan, where over 6 inches of snow could fall. Combine that with the wind, and we're going to have a lot of blowing, drifting snow. And we could see power outages with that heavy wet snow. And again, by the time we roll into the weekend, a whole different scenario. We could be in the 60s on Saturday and around 70 degrees as we get into Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll have a chance for some more maybe heavy rain and potentially some pretty strong thunderstorms as well. So if we look at the headlines again, the biggest item we're going to be dealing with here over the next 24 to 36 hours will be the snow. And again, in some areas of central lower Michigan off to the northeast, it could be quite heavy. And again, winter storm watch is in effect. The 6 to 10, 8 to 14 day outlooks will continue to see warmer than normal conditions along with above normal precipitation. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 49, the normal low is 29. You can see back on this date in 1952, we did have 4 inches of snow. And if we look at the warmest and coldest temperatures across the lower 48 yesterday, 99 degrees at Laredo, Texas, and the cold spot, 5 degrees above zero at Stanley, Idaho. If we look at conditions around the area yesterday, you can see the warmest temperatures were mainly in the mid to upper 50s across the area, and some of the lower temperatures down to low 40s. So a pretty mild day. You can see we're at -1 degree per day below normal so far for the month of April. And you can see some of the rainfall here over the last 7 days. You can see some of the leaders there. And the average across all 13 stations, 1.72. So a very, very wet 7 days that we've went through. And you can see that in graphical format. And if we look at the next screenshot, you can see again, this is kind of some of the areas that we talked about, the potential for winter storm watches. And you can see a pretty good area of winter storm watches all the way into now into Ionia and Montcalm County. And again, off to the northeast, some of those areas could expect well over 6 inches of snow. Got to watch that. Some of the models even give us some areas around a foot of snow, especially for the European, and we'll show you that in a moment. You can see temperatures out there this morning in the upper 30s to the low 40s, except for the cold spot over at Newaygo at 31 degrees. If we look at the satellite, you can see our storm center really getting its act together now, starting to churn. And again, there's going to be a huge area of severe weather across much of the deep south into the Ohio and Tennessee Valley, so be careful out there. And again, you can see the area we expect where some of the snow could be quite heavy. Again, that system now moving to the northeast, heading towards north central Ohio. And if we look at the radar this morning, you can again see that precipitation pivoting around the low. And again, that low will track up across north central, maybe northwest Ohio. And again, very heavy rain being pulled north into the system. That'll be moving into the area here later this morning. And if we look at the weather map for this morning, you can see that low pressure system across southeast Missouri. Again, it'll be heading towards the central and north central Ohio area here over the next 24 hours, and that's going to spread a band of mixed precipitation off to the north. Very heavy rains just off to the north as well. And then you can see the severe weather all the way from the Gulf Coast all the way up into the Ohio Valley. If we look at the forecast map by tomorrow, that low will be moving to the northeastern portions of Ohio. Again, heavy snow on the northwest side. Again, it's going to be very difficult as the temperature profiles are so close to the critical margin that won't take much of a distance to go from very heavy rain to very heavy snow. And again, we think that area is going to be basically the rain snow line where the heaviest snows are going to be around Saginaw down towards the Alma Ithaca area back to the southwest towards portions of Ionia County. If we look at the forecast map by Friday, again, that low will be moving off to the east, and boy, what a nice change in the weather we're going to have, at least for the weekend, as high pressure system moves in. By Saturday, it'll be off to our east. We'll get a return flow. Temperatures will warm into the 60s, and then again, we'll be up around 70 degrees, maybe even a little better as we get into Sunday and Monday. As far as precipitation here over the next 7 days, you can see a bullseye of some of the very heaviest rains are going to be across lower Michigan and the heart of the MAC area. And again, I think many areas here could see 1 to 2 inches will be quite common. And I think there could be some local amounts up around 3 inches here. So again, very, very wet. And we're going to see likely some flood issues develop here over the next 5 days. And if we look at the potential for snow, this is from the Canadian. Shows a lot of the heaviest snows around the Saginaw Bay up towards northeast lower Michigan, but still shows some pretty appreciable amounts all the way into south central lower Michigan as well. And if we look at the next map, this would be from the INSEP here at the 75% level, showing quite a bit of snow across much of mid-Michigan and especially across northeast lower Michigan. And if we look at the GFS, you can see a large area of about 3 to 6 inches of snow across much of the MAC area once you get around north of Lansing. But the European model has a bullseye of about 6 to 12 inches from around the Grand Rapids area up through Elm, Mount Pleasant, Saginaw, and off to the northeast. And I'm really thinking between that model and the Canadian kind of showing some of that heaviest snow around the Saginaw Valley area. Again, there could be quite a bit of snow across mid-Michigan. And on to Weather Watch this morning. You can see our winter storm watch is in effect for much of the central and northeastern portions of lower Michigan. High wind watch also in effect. And again, we may see wind advisories or high wind watches extended outside that area as well. And then you can see flood watches across parts of the plains and into New York and Pennsylvania. And high wind, or rather wind advisories, are in effect for portions of Oklahoma up into Kansas and back towards portions of Missouri as well. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day. Get ready for a lot of weather coming up over the next 24 hours and 73s to all.